Type it in the chat. Type it in the chat. Where do you think Coach Timon is from? I want to see some answers. All right. Don't be saying weird countries, okay? Say countries that look at my face right now. I don't know if it's blurry. I don't know if it's your internet connection, but where am I from? Let me know in the chat. Come on, come on, come on. I want to see it in the chat. I want to see it in the chat. Muda said nowhere. I don't know. All right. If you do know me, type it in the chat. If you do know me, it's okay. You can give away the answer too. Where do you think I am from? Where do you think I'm from? Asaw2 said Thailand. Rebar said Nepal. Layla said Thailand. Marley said Nepal. Okay, so those of you who know me, you guys know me, right? I am from Nepal. I was born in a refugee camp in Nepal, and I grew up over there until I was 10 years old. When I was 10 years old, I came over here to the United States. But I ask you that question because people seriously do not know where I come from. This happened today. Like this literally happened today. Okay. I was at the Nepali store. Okay, there's a Nepali store here in Omaha. I was at the Nepali store. I was doing some groceries. When I went to the checkup line, another Nepali dude was in that cashier line, and he said, "Let this Chinese guy go first." I was like, I have nothing against Chinese people, but even my own people think I'm Chinese. So I get Chinese most of the time. Okay. So I am from Nepal. Yes. And when I say Nepal, people are like, oh, so you can climb mountains? Hey, so you know what snow is like, which is the exact opposite because the place where I came from in Nepal, it was a desert. It was a complete desert. It was the exact opposite. You know, people think that I climb mountains with Sherpas and all that stuff, but I don't. I didn't. Okay, when I grew up in Nepal until I was 10 years old, I lived in a desert and it used to be hot. So there were like 7 different refugee camps in Nepal, and I lived one of those. And the thing about our refugee camp was that it was filled with rocks. Saw Clay Durr said Africa. I'm not from Africa, from Nepal. So our refugee camp was filled with rocks. Okay, rocks. You know, when you're like 7 or 8 years old, you pick fight with your friends, right? In middle school, probably when you did have school before COVID-19, you probably picked fights with your classmates, right? Just for fun. The thing about our camp was that if we picked a fight with someone, we could just literally go down like this, close our eyes, and then we would find a rock, right? And then we would fight back, right? So that was the thing in our country, right? And whenever it got hot, right? Whenever it got hot, we had no electricity, nothing. We used to find, me and my group of friends, we used to find the closest river. Okay, that's right, you heard me, river. Okay, we went and swam on the rivers if it was hot. And it used to be always hot. Trust me, it used to be always hot. We used to walk around in our underwears, go to the river, swim, and then come back. This is actually not me. You guys might be thinking this picture, okay, that's Coach Timon in the middle. It is not, okay? It is not. I searched up in Google, okay? You got to be careful when you search things in Google, okay, guys? I searched kids jumping in a river, and this is what I found, the first picture. And the description said it was from Nepal, too. Somehow Google knew that it was from Nepal. That was so weird. So in Nepal, I used to go swim in the river whenever it was hot, right? And I got a chance. I got this once in a lifetime opportunity chance. My family, we got resettled like many of your families to the United States. We came straight to Omaha, Nebraska. I was 10 years old, right? And if you know anything about Omaha, Nebraska, when it's in the summertime, it gets really hot, right? It gets really hot, really hot. So I had been here for a week, and I decided that it was just too hot. I went to my cousin. I was like, hey, bro, where is the nearest river? All right. It had only been a week. All right. You might be thinking Coach Timon is stupid. All right. Give me a break. It had only been a week since I came to the United States. I said, where is the nearest river? And he said, no, fool. We don't go swim in rivers when it's hot. Because he was also from a refugee camp in Nepal. That's what he used to do. But he came to in the United States before me. So he was like, no, fool. We don't go. He almost gave me a slap. He was like, no, we don't go swim in the rivers. It's America. He said, come follow me. And he took me back to my apartment where I lived. and he went straight to a little thing that was attached to the wall. Right? I was like, what is this fool doing? Okay, because I always thought that thing that was attached was like a clock on the wall. It was like a mini advanced clock that American people use, right? So I never touched it because I was scared to break things, right? And he went to that thing. He started pressing some buttons. We waited for like 15 minutes or so. It started to be cold in the apartment all of a sudden. I was like, bro, how are you doing this? Are you God? Like, teach me how to do that. Teach me how to change the weather. And he for real slapped me that time. He said, no, I am not God. It's a thermostat. Like, you press the button and it changes. Welcome to America. So that was my first experience with a thermostat. All right. So some of you might not know what a thermostat is. Okay. But I just told you a thermostat, it changes the climate in your house. All right. But some of you might not know what a thermometer is. Okay. So type it in the chat. Hello, Nin. Hello, Nin. Everybody say welcome to Nin. But type it in the chat. Thermometer versus a thermostat. What is a thermometer and what is a thermostat? Type it in the chat. Who knows? Who knows? Let's see if we got some smart people. I might even give you a name in the wheel. Okay, a name in the wheel. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows what I might do? Type it in the chat. Type it in the chat. What is a thermometer? What is a thermostat? What does it do? You can look it up. Open a different tab in Google. Look it up. What is a thermostat? What is a thermometer? What do they do? What do they do? Marelli said, when is for your temperature, one is for, and the other one is for the room. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. Your science teacher might not have taught you yet what a thermometer versus a thermostat is. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay. Yahir. A thermometer is something to check your temperature. Okay, Yahir. Yes, Yahir. So when you had a fever, or if you've had COVID-19, your parents might have checked your like fever level with a little sticky thingy, right? That is what's called a thermometer. Okay, I'm gonna give you a little science here. Okay, a thermometer measures. Okay, a thermometer measures. A thermostat, it sets. Okay, a thermometer, it measures the temperature. Okay, it does nothing else. So if it's 70 degrees inside your body, it will tell you it's 70 degrees. It's 80 degrees outside. The thermometer will tell you that it is 80 degrees outside. But what a thermostat does, okay, a thermostat, it sets the temperature. So if you want it to be 60 degrees, you can tell the thermostat to be 60 degrees and it will be 60 degrees, right? So boom, there we go. Okay, I don't want to miss anyone here. Muda, hold on. Some of you are texting late because I know this. Okay, I was in middle school, like Coach Kangas told you. You probably searched it in Google and came back here, copy and pasted that, huh? Okay, let me get in there. Okay, thermometer is when you measure the temperature. Thermostat is where you can change the temperature. Yes. All of you are right, right? Rebar say thermometer measures, thermostat controls. Yes, thermostat controls, right? So a thermometer reads the temperature. A thermostat sets the temperature of where you want it to be. Okay, so you might be saying, hold on, Coach Timon. I didn't come here to learn about thermometer, thermostat. I came here to have fun, learn about leadership lessons, all right? You might be saying, what the heck is a thermometer and thermostat has to do with my life, okay? What if I told you? What if I told you that you are a thermometer? All right, you might be saying, what the heck? No, I'm not something that measures the temperature, okay? What if I told you that most people are like thermometers? You see, because most people, they tend to reflect the culture around them. And what I mean by that is they buy things that other people buy. They say things that other people say. They wear things that other people wear, and they value things that other people value, okay? Now, you might have gotten a picture of yourself in the head as I was saying that, because a lot of us, including myself, we do a lot of things that what other people do, right? We say a lot of things what our friends say, right? Especially during this time. So if, for example, one of your friends say, hey, don't hop in the call, don't hop in at Thrive today, don't hit that join button, because it's easy, right? The pandemic had made it easy for you guys, right? You cannot go to class with the press of a button, right? That's easy, right? A lot of your friends might do that, and you might do the same thing, right? That's what being a thermometer is like, okay? You reflect what other people are doing. So a thermometer reflects the climate, right? A thermostat, it sets the climate. It sets the climate, right? I'll be honest with you, okay? I'll be really, really honest with you guys that I am a thermometer myself, right? I had this near-death experience once in a motorcycle, right? When I was really young, I had a near-death experience. I said I was never ever gonna ride a motorcycle ever in my life. And then last summer, this summer, all of my friends started to ride how to learn the motorcycle, and they were taking cool pictures in the motorcycle. So guess what I did? Guess what I did? 3 months later, took a course on how to ride a motorcycle, got my license, I got a motorcycle, right? So that's the power, right? That's the power. We want to do what other people want to do. And it's hard, right? In fact, one sociologist, he estimated that 70%, right? 70% of people in America, they do not think on their own. So 70% are thermometer, 30% are thermostat. 30% are the ones who think, all right? And leaders, and I call you leaders because here in the Thrive Leadership Club, we all want you to be leaders, okay? Leaders are people who decide to take their life to the next level by becoming thermostats, right? They set their climate for which they are placed in, right? So they say, hey, I want to do this, okay? I don't want to do that. I want to do this. I want to focus in my own life, right? And now you might be asking, Coach Timon, you've been talking about how to be a thermometer, how to be a thermostat. So how do I actually become a thermostat? How do I become a thermostat? How do I go to that 30%, right? Because to be a thermostat, what it means is to take control of your own life, right? And I learned this lesson because I was in Thrive just like you are right now, but you guys have a head start. You guys are in middle school. I only joined Thrive when I was a freshman in high school, okay? Because they didn't have middle school Thrive, right? I learned this when I was a freshman in high school, and I still apply it to this day. Being a thermostat, right? And what it can mean to my life, that if I'm able to be a thermostat, I can do all sorts of things that I've always wanted to do, right? And it's hard because I'll tell you, this year, I've always thought that after learning this lesson, I was a thermostat. I had control over my life. I valued my own core values, and I knew where I wanted to go. And if you don't know me, that I want to be a speaker and a facilitator, right? I want to be a speaker facilitator who travels to different states, maybe different countries, to speak to students, to speak to you just like this, right? And this year, before the COVID pandemic hit, I had everything planned out. I was going to go speak. I had some people lined up. I was going to go to elementary school to speak, all right? And the week before I was going to speak, a week before I was going to step my foot, like for the first time, to the speaking world, the whole school shut down, right? Everything shut down. And then I was jobless, right? So I had to go get a job at UPS. I was lifting boxes for 6 months. I was moving further and further away from my goals. I was slowly becoming a thermometer from a thermostat, right? That's why it's hard. Sometimes you think you're a thermostat, but you slowly become a thermometer, right? I was lifting boxes, and then one day I heard a voice. That voice said, "Hey, Timon, quit your job." And that voice was Coach Kangas's voice. And I quit my job. I quit my job that day. Actually, I did not quit my job that day, okay? You always give a 2 weeks notice before you quit any job. I know you guys are in middle school, but once you get to high school and you get like part-time jobs, you always give 2 weeks notice. You don't just call them, hey, I'm not coming to work today. It will look really, really bad, and you won't get any other jobs in the future, okay? So I quit my job. I gave them a 2 weeks notice, and then I slowly started to find myself again. I slowly started to be a thermostat again, right? Which is why I'm here giving you this lesson through my experience, right? And so you might be asking, what the heck do I have to do to be a thermostat? And maybe you are already a thermostat, right? This is the advice. This is the advice, right? So listen up. This is the real advice, okay? To be a thermostat, you have to be real with yourself. Period. You have to be real with yourself, okay? And you might be saying, what does that have to do with anything? So you see, by becoming real with yourself, you're writing your own story. You're not copying someone else's story, right? You're not copying someone else's story. And if you know anything about the word real, it also means to be authentic, right? It means to be authentic. It comes from the word to author, to write your own story. Okay, and as I said earlier, it's so hard, especially during these times, to not copy what someone else is doing, right? Because it's so easy to not hit that join button inside Microsoft Teams to maybe go to your math class, to go to your science class. It's so easy to just sleep because you think, oh, it's not real school. It's just some people talking inside my iPad, right? It's so easy to not copy someone else's story, right? And it's hard. That's why it's only 30%. It's hard to write your story, write your own story, right? It's hard to wake up in the morning in the same time and just stay in your bed or go right next to your bed, hit that join button, stay from the home, to not even feel like it's real, like going to school, right? It's hard. But by doing that hard thing, you are writing your own story. You're setting a standard for your life by saying to yourself that I want to control the things that's happening in my life, right? And that's why you're here in Thrive, right? A lot of people could have joined Thrive today, right? We called a lot of people. There was like 50 or 60 students, right? But you are here because you guys are thermostats. You are here because you want to take control over your life. And that's what we want to teach you, okay? I'm going to give you some examples. Type it in the chat. I'm going to give you some examples. Who do you think this guy is? I'm going to teach you history, science, leadership, everything. Who do you think this guy is? Type it in the chat. Who do you think this guy is? You might have learned about him in the middle school. I think I learned about him in middle school. Who is this guy? Somebody. Is there somebody that knows? Nin says Maurice. Marley said, I forgot his name. It's okay. You guys might not know, but if you know, Sockleder, good guess. Obama? No, he's not Obama. You know who he is? He is a man called Nelson Mandela. All right. Remember his name, because you're gonna get to hear his name a lot in high school, and you're gonna be like, oh, Coach Timon taught me about this dude and who he is, right? So he was a visionary leader, and he was one of the first South African president, right? So he was the first South African president to be elected like democratically, okay? And I'm telling you about him because he was a thermostat, all right? He stood by his values so much. He wanted to stand for his values so much and what he believed, that people who did not like what he believed put him in prison for almost 30 years. 30 years. And all he had to say was, okay, I want to be out. I don't care about my value, okay? And he didn't. He wrote his own story. He set his own climate around him. He sat in prison for almost 30 years, and then he got out and he became the president, right? And that's why people remember him as a visionary leader. Okay, who do you think this is? You know who this is. Who do you think this is? Come on, people. Come on, people. You gotta get this. Who is this? Who is this? Who is this? Who is this person? Somebody. I don't know. Who said I don't know? Sockley Dirk. Come on. Who is this? Who is this, everyone? Marelli said I don't know. A speaker. Okay, I'm gonna go with what Layla is saying. He is a speaker, but he's also a rich speaker. He's a billionaire. Okay, have you guys heard of Amazon? If you've heard of Amazon, type some ones in the chat. Type some ones in the chat if you know or have heard of Amazon. Type some ones. I want to see the screen filled with ones. Okay, there we go. Nin. Okay, Marley, Nepa, one. Okay, He is the founder of Amazon, okay? And he is known because he stood in his value, just like Nelson Mandela, okay? He saw something that no one else saw. He saw the future, okay? He said in 20 years, in 10 years, people are going to start shopping online, okay? I know some of you shop online inside Amazon, right? He said people are going to shop online, and in 20 years, guess what? And people are shopping online, right? He never gave up on his value. A lot of people told him, oh, this idea is never going to work. This thing is never going to work. But he stood in his value and he fought for his own story. He wrote his own story and never gave up. That's why he is who he is today. He has billions and billions of dollars. Okay, last one. Who do you think this person is? Who do you think this person is? You might not know. You might not know, but if you know, then that's awesome. Who do you think this is? Even if you don't know, you can say, I don't know. You can say, I don't know. Even if you just don't know, you can say, I don't know, so I can help you guys. Who do you think this is? Nin says, I don't know. Oh,
I don't know.
Napa Waku. Mother Teresa. Yes, Napa. We got a history student in Nathan Hale. Yes, this is Mother Teresa, okay? And Mother Teresa, she chose to serve the poorest of the poorest and to live among them and like them. And in fact, she also got a Nobel Peace Prize, okay? She was a symbol of peace when she was alive. She's still a symbol of peace, right? Because she believed in her values. She stood for who she believed in, who she was, and wrote her own story. And other people saw that. People around the world saw that, followed her, and that's why people even gave her the Nobel Peace Prize, okay? And all of these leaders that I just showed you are respected not because they are like flashy speakers, not because they are rich. It's because people know them as leaders who live by certain values and won't drift from them, okay? And people respect those who are value driven and those who can write their own stories, those people who can say no, okay? So I'm going to give you a challenge. The next time your friend says, hey, let's do this, don't hop in that call, okay? Have the ability to say no, because when your friends tell you something, it's really hard to say no, right? But you got to think about what's important for you. You have to learn how to be a thermostat and not a thermometer, okay? You have to learn how to respond and not react, because guess what a thermometer does? A thermometer, again, they react to everything. They want to do what other people are doing because they don't want to get left behind, right? But a thermometer, they respond. They think about what's going on in their life. They choose what's important. They choose whether to join that button, hit that join button inside of Teams and say, okay, this is what I want to do with my life. Okay, I want to be a thermometer. Okay, so I want to encourage every single one of you, which I know you can be a thermometer because you can write your own story. And I promise you, if you learn this little simple truth in middle school, you cannot imagine where that will take you. Okay, so write your own story, be a thermostat, not a thermometer. Okay, if you got it, put some ones in the chat. If you got it and if you listened, put some ones in the chat while Coach